Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing, not reacting, not explaining, not defending yourself, not chasing closure, not trying to correct every misunderstanding. People think power comes from control, from speaking louder, from proving a point, but real power often comes from silence, from restraint, from the ability to ignore what does not deserve your energy. Most people lose themselves trying to be understood by people who already decided not to understand them. They waste years responding to disrespect, trying to convince doubters, trying to heal people who enjoy hurting them. And little by little, they become exhausted, not because life is too hard, but because they are giving attention to things that should have been ignored from the beginning. Attention is one of the most valuable things you own. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If you constantly focus on negativity, betrayal, criticism, drama, and opinions, your mind becomes crowded, heavy, restless. But when you learn to ignore certain things, you create space. Space for peace, space for clarity, space for growth. Not every comment deserves a response. Not every insult deserves emotion. Not every battle deserves your participation. A person who reacts to everything becomes emotionally controlled by everyone around them. Anyone can ruin their mood. Anyone can steal their peace. Anyone can manipulate them. But the moment you stop reacting automatically, you take your power back. People will test you, some intentionally, some unconsciously. They will project their insecurities onto you. They will underestimate you. They will criticize your decisions. They will gossip about you. And many times, they want a reaction more than anything else. Your anger feeds them. Your explanation entertains them. Your frustration validates them. But your silence confuses them. Your calmness weakens their influence. Ignoring is not weakness. It is discipline. Weak people react instantly. Strong people choose carefully what deserves their energy. There is maturity in walking away from pointless conflict. There is intelligence in recognizing that not everything requires your involvement. The older you get, the more you realize that peace is expensive, and you stop giving discounts to chaos. You stop allowing random opinions to enter your mind. You stop fighting to be liked by everyone. You stop trying to save relationships that constantly drain you. You understand that protecting your energy is not selfish. It is necessary. Some people are addicted to noise. They cannot sit in silence because silence forces them to face themselves. So they create drama, arguments, confusion, and if you are not careful, they will pull you into their storm. But not every storm is yours to survive. Some storms are simply distractions sent to destroy your focus. The power of ignoring is the power of staying focused on your path, while the world tries to pull you away from it. Imagine how different your life would feel if you stopped checking who unfollowed you, stopped replaying disrespectful conversations in your mind, stopped seeking validation from people who barely value themselves. Imagine how much energy you would recover. A lot of suffering comes from attachment. Attachment to being accepted. Attachment to being right. Attachment to receiving apologies. Attachment to people behaving the way you want them to behave. But life becomes lighter when you accept that not everyone will understand you, respect you, or love you correctly. And that is okay. You do not need to attend every argument you are invited to. You do not need to prove your worth to people committed to misunderstanding you. Sometimes your greatest flex is your ability to remain unbothered. And the truth is, when you stop reacting emotionally to everything, you become dangerous in the best way. Clear-minded, centered, hard to manipulate, hard to distract, hard to control. That is the beginning of real freedom. One of the hardest lessons in life is realizing that closure is not always going to come from another person. Sometimes people hurt you and move on like nothing happened. Sometimes they lie about you, betray you, disappoint you, and never apologize. And if you keep waiting for accountability before you heal, you will stay trapped in emotional prison. This is where the power of ignoring changes your life. Because ignoring is not pretending something never happened. It is deciding that your peace matters more than your need to be validated. It is choosing not to reopen wounds every single day by revisiting the same pain. What you feed grows. What you starve fades. If you feed anger, anger grows. If you feed insecurity, insecurity grows. If you feed resentment, resentment grows. But when you stop entertaining toxic thoughts, they slowly lose power over you. Not immediately, but gradually, quietly, your mind begins to clear. There is strength in refusing to let temporary people have permanent control over your emotions. Some people do not deserve front-row seats in your mind. They do not deserve your sleepless nights. They do not deserve your emotional energy months or years after they left your life. And sometimes ignoring means ignoring your own impulses, ignoring the urge to text back immediately, ignoring the temptation to stalk someone's social media, ignoring the need to explain yourself to people who already judged you. Self-control is one of the highest forms of power. The world teaches people to react instantly. Immediate opinions, immediate anger, immediate revenge. But emotionally intelligent people pause. They observe, they breathe before responding. They understand that a temporary emotion should not control a permanent decision. There is something powerful about becoming emotionally unavailable to negativity. When insults no longer shake you, when criticism no longer breaks your confidence, when rejection no longer destroys your self-worth. That is growth. And here is something many people never understand. Confidence is not loud. Real confidence is quiet. It does not need to argue constantly. It does not need to announce itself. It does not need everyone to agree. Confident people know who they are without demanding external approval. A weak ego needs constant validation. A strong mind does not. The ability to ignore distractions is also what separates successful people from average people. Most people quit their goals because they become distracted by criticism, comparison, or temporary discomfort. They spend more time reacting than building, more time watching others than improving themselves. Focus is a superpower in a distracted world. Every day, life offers you distractions disguised as urgency, drama disguised as importance, opinions disguised as truth. And if you react to all of it, you lose momentum. But when you learn to ignore what does not align with your purpose, your energy becomes concentrated, powerful, productive, focused. Not every friendship deserves access to you forever. Not every relationship deserves another chance. Not every opportunity deserves a yes. Sometimes ignoring is not about anger. It is about standards. You begin to realize that protecting your peace is more important than protecting other people's comfort. And that realization changes everything. There are people who will only respect you after they lose access to you. As long as you are always available, always explaining, always forgiving, always reacting, they take your presence for granted. But when you finally become silent, when you stop chasing, when you stop entertaining nonsense, suddenly they notice your value. Absence reveals importance. Many people are afraid of being ignored, so they tolerate disrespect just to stay connected. They answer every message immediately. They over-explain themselves. They beg to be understood. They keep giving chances to people who keep crossing boundaries. But desperation destroys self-respect. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is walk away quietly. No announcement, no revenge, no dramatic exit, just distance, and distance has power. Distance gives clarity. When you step away from toxic environments, manipulative people, and constant noise, you begin to hear your own thoughts again. You reconnect with yourself. Your intuition becomes stronger. Your mind becomes calmer. Some people are not confused about how they treat you. They are aware. They simply believe you will continue tolerating it. That is why boundaries matter. And one of the strongest boundaries is emotional detachment. Not coldness, not hatred. Detachment. Detachment means understanding that you can care about someone without sacrificing your mental health for them. It means understanding that love without respect becomes self-destruction. It means accepting that some people are committed to misunderstanding you because it benefits them emotionally. You cannot force maturity onto immature people. You cannot heal people who enjoy dysfunction. And you cannot keep carrying relationships alone while calling it loyalty. At some point, you must stop watering dead plants. The power of ignoring also appears when life becomes unfair. Because life will be unfair sometimes. People with bad intentions may succeed temporarily. Good people may struggle. You may feel overlooked, underestimated, forgotten. And your instinct may be to react emotionally, to complain constantly, to become bitter. But bitterness is heavy. It poisons the person carrying it. Sometimes your greatest revenge is your continued growth. Your peace, your discipline, your happiness, not because you are pretending pain does not exist, but because you refuse to let pain define your future. There is incredible strength in becoming emotionally independent, in no longer needing everyone to approve of your choices, in no longer collapsing because someone rejected you, in no longer measuring your worth by attention, likes, or praise. The world becomes less exhausting when you stop taking everything personally. People's actions often reflect their own inner world more than your value. Hurt people. Insecure people criticize others. Unhappy people spread negativity. And if you absorb all of it personally, you carry emotional burdens that were never yours. Not everything deserves emotional access to you. And the truth is, silence often speaks louder than words. Your silence can communicate boundaries. Your silence can communicate self-respect. Your silence can communicate that you are no longer available for manipulation. When you stop reacting, people are forced to face themselves without using your emotions as entertainment. That is power, not controlling others, controlling yourself, because anyone can scream, anyone can argue, Anyone can react impulsively, but staying calm when disrespected, staying focused when distracted, staying disciplined when emotional, that requires strength, and strength is quiet. At the end of the day, your life becomes whatever repeatedly captures your attention. If you constantly give your mind to negativity, your spirit becomes tired. If you constantly chase validation, your confidence becomes fragile. If you constantly react emotionally, your peace disappears. But when you become selective with your attention, your entire life changes. You begin to realize that not every opportunity is meant for you. Not every relationship is healthy. Not every opinion matters. And most importantly, not every problem deserves your emotional investment. Maturity is learning the difference between what deserves your energy and what deserves your silence. Freedom begins when you stop trying to manage everyone's perception of you. Sometimes the strongest thing you can say is nothing, because silence forces people to reveal themselves. When you stop arguing, people expose their intentions. When you stop chasing, people expose their priorities. When you stop overgiving, people expose their selfishness. And while they reveal themselves, you protect your peace. That is the true power of ignoring. Thank you for watching. Remember, not everything deserves your reaction. Protect your peace, protect your energy, and focus only on what truly matters. Sometimes silence is strength, sometimes distance is healing, and sometimes ignoring is power. If this video helped you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. Take care of your mind and use your energy wisely.